days are long, going home thinking, what's the use? Not living your dreams, and it seems there's always another excuse. Can't understand why the frustration won't die. It follows you wherever you go, time and again. Laws of attraction won't end. Learn what you need to know. Life happens by chance. Beliefs and circumstance. You are a creator. Just a shift, yeah, in consciousness. Where intention goes, energy flows. So it is what it is. The past can't be undone. Bust your heart open wide. A change in the tide has begun. just a shift in consciousness where intention goes, energy flows. It's a shift in consciousness where intention goes, energy flows. You are a creator. You are your life maker. Beliefs held in your mind will color your life's design. You are a creator. You are your life maker. You are a creator. You are your life maker.
Ah, Pierre, listen, everybody online, if you need to go back and you need to know what letting go is and what new thought is, just listen to that song. Pierre, that is so rich in text and context.
Thank you.
I mean, I listen to it and I'm like, what line could I use? And then I hear the next one and I go, oh, that one. Oh, that one. Right?
Well, and it's funny because when you said the theme for the month, and I went, oh, okay, well, it's the new month and what songs, and then it's all about letting go. And in the newsletter, it's about, I can't remember now what you said, but yeah, it was like, oh, the play you write and all that. And it's like, well, those are the lyrics to this song. So
absolutely. So you know what? It's so that is. I mean, we refer to it as one mind or whatever, but it is just consciousness, and clearly there's someone somewhere, me, you, and everyone else, who needed to hear or needs to hear that message right now.
Yeah.
In the way that it's spoken, because you hear it differently when you're in a different place in your life. So, so I just love it. It's your lyrics are fantastic. I think what I'm going to do one time is have you send me one of your songs.
Yeah.
And I'm actually, maybe I should do like a talk around the whole song, and then get you to sing it again.
Yeah.
After the talk, so that people could actually hear it.
Yeah.
And then hear it with the context of really pointing it out. Who knows? We'll be creative.
It's really interesting. My brother, who's in business in Nova Scotia, like he's in the government and stuff. He's anyway, but he uses some of my lyrics, like a song I wrote called "Rise with the Sun." He uses that with his the people that he works with. Like he's using Science of Mind through my lyrics on his employees.
Right.
Yeah. I'm like, very good.
So that's what mysticism and new thought is that when there's a truth spoken, when there's a truth, it lands and it never gets old. And that's what hit songs are written about, and poetry and art, and and people who are even creative, even accountants. A truth is the truth.
Yep.
And so well done. Thank you for opening up for us. And the music you're going to do now, I mean, everybody listen, stay tuned, because really, honestly, tonight's music is just off the charts. So I'll look forward to hearing a little bit more from you later, Pierre.
I look forward to it.
All right. Sounds good. Well, listen, everybody, welcome. Thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you for bringing your consciousness to this place. Know that you are here on purpose. Know that you are here on time. And here means whenever you happen to be watching it, because I know that some of you, tell me that you watch in the morning with your coffee, or whenever you happen to be watching it, it is the right time for you. So I just want to say welcome. And I want you to just take this moment as we lean into this next bit of time that we have together, and just lean into this fact that everything that happened before this moment is already done, and let it go. There is nothing that you need to be holding on to right here, right now. This is your gift for your hour. Let everything go. You can pick it up in an hour if you want, or if it doesn't serve you, you can just leave it behind. But trust and know that you're here on purpose and that you're going to hear a message that is going to tell you something or shift something for you, as the song says, it's just a shifting consciousness. So allow that to happen for you tonight. I trust and know that you're here on purpose, that you're here on time, and I trust and know that every note you hear, every word you feel, everything through our meditation that you're going to hear, everything is exactly what you need to give yourself this gift for 1 hour. So thank you for coming. And we release that into the world, and we know that the vibrational energy, and we know that the word is powerful. So with that, I release it, I let it go, and we always say, and so it is. And so it is. I'm so honored tonight, all the way from this beautiful place, this beautiful resort that he happens to live at, and I happen to get to visit often, is the most incredible, a dear friend of mine who, I got to tell you, so much with this person. We have had so much in common throughout our lives. It is the fabulous president of our board, by the way, the fabulous practitioner, Michel Do. Michel, welcome.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here.
And
wonderful to be here.
Lovely to have you here too. And Michel, we'll chat after this, but
yes.
I'm just gonna let you take it away with your meditation, and I'll be joining into the meditation as well. So thank you.
So I just want to welcome everyone. Happy Canada Day. Happy 4th of July. And whatever you are celebrating, it's a fun time of the year. This month always is. Summer months, school is out for the summer. Teachers are off. They've had a hectic year like everybody else. And it's time to, like the theme says, release, let go, surrender. So I'm going to have a chat with you, and then we're going to go into a prayer. So again, the theme is release. And when I think of release, especially the last few years, I think of the out breath. And like I said, more in the last while, well, especially this month with the theme, it really clicked as soon as I heard it. Because as soon as I think of release, surrendering or letting go, I now think of the out breath. So just follow me in the guided meditation here. I am conscious, alert, present. I am completely here now, not thinking, no thing. Let go of everything now. Give yourself permission to let go of the past now. Give yourself some space to grow into now. Whatever you choose. I use conscious, positive, directed thought into the law that only does to create a happy, joyful, peaceful, beautiful, abundant life. So like I said, when I think of release and letting go and surrendering, giving up completely, I think of the out breath. Now I'm going to show you what I do when challenges come up or stuff surfaces for me. I use the 1, 2, 3, 4 method. That's, we all use it in dance and music. And so to me, it's easy for me to get to immediately. So what I do, and I'll explain it to you once and we can all do it together, is to, when something surfaces or comes up, feel it. And then from that point, when I've got it on the slate, what's surfacing for me or what challenge is there, like I said, I feel it. And then I take 10 breaths through my mouth. And then after the 10 breaths, I hold it there to affirm, and it's usually the opposite of what surfaces, right? So you go right to the opposite, and it's usually love or peace or joy or faith. So again, I bring it to my consciousness. I take 10 deep breaths in. I affirm the opposite, and then I let it all out. And when I say all out, I don't mean just blow it out. I mean, don't leave anything inside of you. So we're going to do it together. Method 1, 2, 3, 4. So whatever surfaces right now, doesn't matter what it is, take 10 deep breaths in through your mouth. And relax. Take a conscious breath. And relax. Now, I want you to just notice the spaces through this meditation, this prayer of love. And that's where we really connect. So I'm going to go into a prayer of love. And as we know, that's what the world needs now. And that's what the world always needs now. Because most of our challenges, when we get to the truth of it, is love. So I'm going to ask you to relax your shoulders, become aware without thinking. And again, there's an art to listening. Come to our senses, all of our senses. We're going to share a beautiful dream together. A dream that you will love to have all the time. In this dream, you are in the middle of a beautiful, warm, sunny day. You hear the birds, the wind, and a river. You walk towards the river, and at the edge of the river is an old man in meditation. And you see that out of his head comes a beautiful light of different colors. You try not to bother him, but he notices your presence and opens his eyes. He has the kind of eyes that are full of love and a big, big smile. You ask him how he is able to radiate all that beautiful light. You ask him if he can teach you to do what he is doing. He replies that many, many years ago, he asked the same question to his teacher. The old man begins to tell you his story. My teacher opened his chest and took out his heart, and he took a beautiful flame from his heart. Then he opened my chest, opened my heart, and he put the flame inside it. He put my heart back in my chest. And as soon as my heart was inside of me, I felt intense love. The flame grew in my heart and became a big, big fire. A fire that doesn't burn, but purifies everything it touches. And that fire touched each one of the cells of my body. And the cells of my body loved me back. I became one with my body. But my love grew even more. That fire touched every emotion of my mind. And all the emotions transformed into a strong and intense love. And I loved myself completely and unconditionally. But the fire kept burning, and I had the need to share my love. I decided to put a little piece of my love in every tree, and the trees loved me back. And I became one with the trees. But my love did not stop. It grew more. I put a piece of love in every flower, in the grass, in the earth, and they loved me back. And we became one. And my love grew more and more and more to love every animal in the world. They responded to my love, and they loved me back. And we became one. But my love kept growing and growing. I put a piece of my love in every crystal, in every stone in the ground, in the dirt, in the metals, and they loved me back. And I became one with the earth. And then I decided to put my love in the water, in the ocean, in the rivers, in the rain, in the snow. And guess what? They loved me back, and we became one. And still my love grew more and more. I decided to give my love to the air, to the wind. I felt a strong communion with the earth, with the wind, with the oceans, with nature, and my love grew and grew. I turned my head to the sky, to the sun, to the stars, and put a little piece of my love in every star, in the moon, in the sun, and they loved me back. And I became one with the moon and the sun and the stars, and my love kept growing and growing. And I put a little piece of my love in every human, and I became one with the whole of humanity. Wherever I go, whomever I meet, I see myself in their eyes, because I am part of everything, because I love. And then the old man opened his own chest takes out his heart with that beautiful flame inside, and he puts the flame in your heart. And now that love has grown inside of you. Now you are one with the wind, with the water, with the stars, with all of nature, with all animals, and with all humans. It's emanating from the flame in your heart. Out of your head shines a beautiful light of different colors. You are radiant with the glow of love, and you pray. Thank you, Creator of the universe, for the gift of life you have given me. Thank you for giving me everything that I have ever truly needed. Thank you for the opportunity to experience this beautiful body and this wonderful mind. Thank you for living inside me with all your love, with your pure and boundless spirit, with your warm and radiant light. Thank you for using my words, for using my eyes, for using my heart to share your love wherever I go. I love you just the way you are. And because I am your creation, I love myself just the way I am. Help me to keep the love and the peace in my heart, and to make that love a new way of life, that I may live in love for the rest of my life. May peace be all of you. And a message that I wrote down, so I'm going to say it. I see all good for all people. Namaste.
All is well, and I am grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I am grateful. Life is good. So it is, all is well, and I'm grateful. All is well, and now it's time to let it go. All is well, and I'm grateful. Life is good, and so it is. Life is good, and so it is.
Oh, Pierre, thank you. That is one of my favorite songs. It is just
Oh, wonderful.
and just so appropriate. Thank you so much for that beautiful song.
It was my pleasure.
I'm going to send this out to everybody and say, listen to the music and the meditation. You got to do it. We'll hear your song in a little bit down the road, Pierre.
Okay.
And Michelle, I don't know what you did in that meditation, but that was very powerful. Thank you for bringing me to that place. Just so beautiful. And we spend time together, and we get on to certain levels. But your meditation just, just the concept of just I swear like you're a mess. It's crazy. Between Pierre's song and your thing, stop it, everybody.
But, I know what it is. It's nature. It's nature.
Yeah.
Once we connect with nature,
Yeah.
it's powerful.
And this is so uplifting. This is where we are. I love your concept of, all the love going into everything and then being expended back and then, emitting from within us. And then I gave that love to someone else. That is how we're supposed to be living. That if there was a utopia or heaven on earth, to me, that is the concept of heaven on earth. So just so very powerful. Thank you.
And the way it's supposed to be.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
And we forget
nature.
And we get in our head and we forget that. And you know what? Speaking of that, we got together as a community a couple of weeks ago.
Oh.
And, we saw Pierre and his band, and it was funny because we were like cheerleaders because we knew all the songs.
Yeah.
Because that same positivity, and I love even when he said Jerry's not show. He goes, well, you might have noticed that our music is about positivity and love, and you could just see people just going, oh yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that's what I'm feeling. Right? How did it feel to be together with our community finally?
Oh my God! So I was just watching people because we know the words and they're all positive and harmonious and lovely, and I was watching people and I was looking at the spark in their eye, really, and because it was loud and clear and it was lovely. And everything was harmonized. I felt that harmony, and that we were in the park, in a beautiful park.
Beautiful park, lots of food,
sharing food and words, and it was but I loved it. It was a blessing.
Yeah, well, you know what? There's more of those in the plan coming, as we know. Set your calendars. Sometimes we're at the end of August. There's going to be a gathering, fundraiser, or something. So get ready for that. But it meant a lot to me. So I have a question for you. In terms of the past of your life, what are some of the things that you had to release to come to this point in your life?
Yeah. So as we know, as children, we were like sponges, right? And we take in a lot. And, that generation went through, our parents, that whole generation, they worked hard. They learn. They told us what they thought was the right things. And that's what I'm releasing a lot to. And when I say a lot, they're just things that you need to, that surface, and you go, what's that? And you go, oh, that comes from my childhood. And that's not the truth. So again, that's when I would take my deep breath and affirm, no, that's not the truth. The truth is this. And like the song said, a shift in consciousness, right? That's all it is. It's a shift in consciousness. And that we release as we breathe out, as we know that's what release is in many ways, and go from there. But a lot of it is childhood stuff and that surfaces.
And things that we held on to. So you got to let go of those.
Right.
To be the person that you were always meant to be anyway. And life came along and said, no, yes, no, yes. Judgment came along and said, no, yes, no, yes. Our own self-judgment came along and said, I'm not enough, whatever that is, lie.
Yeah.
So, so that's good. And we have, you and I have a lot of discovered over 34 years of friendship, a lot of similarities in our lives that we never ever had talked about. And then, and that is part of the release process, right? As well as affirmation.
Well, like I've always told you, Reverend Fred, I don't think I'd be where I'm sitting here right now if you weren't there, because, I don't think I could have gone through that journey alone.
Yes.
And yeah, so there's
Well,
no coincidence that
and I always loved the story when you called me and told me that you were talking to trees, and I understood, because that's what you were talking about. You're putting love into things are vibrating differently, and I never forget it. And then I never forget a friend of ours that came along and said, you know, I think Michel is spending too much time alone. He's talking to trees, and I was like, so do I. Remember? and you remember the
so
yeah.
what's somebody supposed to do when he lives on 80 acres of the tallest pine trees in the world? Fall in love with the pine trees,
Absolutely.
right?
And then and the coincidence there was you were living about 2 kilometers down the road from where I lived when I was born. So it's
Yeah.
just so that was another thing that we discovered on our journey
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So listen, we're always in the process of letting go. Like we're always in the process of letting go of the things that we experienced and so on and so forth. And sometimes we think that we're done with something. Like we've dealt with it, we feel good about it. What does it mean to you, or what does it mean when things start to come back up again? Like we thought we dealt with it, and all of a sudden it's there again. You know, what does that mean? How do you move forward from there?
Yeah. I honestly believe that you have to deal with things, because like many things we put under the rug or we push down, and we don't really deal with things, so they're going to resurface. And it happens to all of us. We thought we dealt with us, but we really truly didn't. We need to, and that's where prayer comes in. That's where consciousness comes in. That's where using the law, because we can, and the law will only do. So again, we need to, and I always come to this, but we need to stop. Deal with things
So
and
Michel,
take
this
the time.
one second
It's
was
dissipate.
hilarious.
It'll dissipate.
Michelle, it was hilarious because you said we need to stop, and then your camera froze right on the word stop. So you said we need to stop, and then the camera froze. So sorry, what was the
I said we need to stop
yeah,
and pray and meditate and affirm, because it will dissipate.
absolutely.
The more you work on yourself, it's like an instrument. The more you work with the instrument, the better you get at it. It's the same thing. We need to stop and work on ourselves.
Absolutely.
And because we know the truth, like, and if we don't know the truth, we'll ask the questions and we'll get the answers.
That's right. And like all things, it's like layers of an onion, isn't it? Like you peel off one surface, and then you've got all you can take almost, and then so you've dealt with it. And then when it comes up again, it's just another layer of onion. It's just it's just there, but it's just another layer of onion. And
Yeah.
so I love
And
that.
like I said, any athlete, anyone, you gotta work at it, and especially when stuff surfaces. Like, don't brush it under the rug. Don't send it down. Deal with it. And I know sometimes it could be challenging, but there's support out there. We can all get it done.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, well, thank you for your inspiring message, your inspiring talk, your inspiring meditation. Absolutely wonderful. I always love spending time with you.
My pleasure. I just
Thank you,
love
Michel.
being with the community. Thank you. I look forward to your talk.
All right. And I think you'll find some similarities in the talk, because release is release. So there's going to be messages that surface throughout this. So
Exactly.
thank you, Michel, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later. And
sure.
welcome everybody to this celebration of love, this gift that you give yourself for showing up and for sharing your consciousness with us today. And as Michel said, happy 1st of July, which is Canada Day here in Canada, or 4th of July if you're watching from the USA. Just remember that release is also releasing attachments to all of it. So think of it as a national scale. Think of it as however you want to think of it. Just release anything that doesn't feel good about those particular holidays. So for you, what does release mean to you? Ask yourself that. To me, I use philosophy. I use religion. So Buddhism, for an example, is their form of release is to let go of attachment. It's to let go of attachment to anything. In Christianity, it's to move away from sin or to release sin. So they do things like, they have a ways that you can do that. And sin, just by the way, just means missing the mark. It means, a misthought, or it means something that is not good for you. That's how I view sin. In our philosophy, in some philosophies actually, they actually talk about the ego, and then releasing the ego, recognizing that the ego is there. Our motto at our center is love only, forgive everything, and remember who you are. Forgive everything. That is a form of letting go. That's a form of release. Releasing the things that bind you to anything is release. That's what it is. It's letting go. And remember, we don't ever forgive others, but we forgive ourselves. We don't forgive for other people. We let go because it's something that is better for us. It gives us a sense of relief. We start to live a better life when we start to forgive others, because it's a form of freedom for ourselves. So why would we let go? Let go. There's things that shackle us. I just thought of the story that Dr. James Mellon used to talk about, and it was the elephant. And if you shackle a baby elephant to a post in the ground and it learns the parameter that it can go within that shackle, you could remove that shackle as an adult, and that elephant continues to go in that parameter that it knows that it can go. It won't even try to lift. All it has to do is like lift its leg and it can move that. But it starts to believe that that's its world and that's its parameters. So a lot of us are like that too. We let our stories hold us back. As Michelle said, we hear a lot of things from our youth and we hold on to it. And then we start to think that's who we are. We start to believe that that's the parameters that we can live in. We create a new space. By releasing. We create a newer space. We create a more accurate expression of who we are now, not who we were all those years ago, not the you that you were even yesterday, as a matter of fact. You have a choice and you can create this from right here, from right now. And you know what? There are stages in releasing, especially those deep-rooted, long-held beliefs. First thing that you have to do is realize that there's a need for change. So how do you know that there's a need for change? When things that you don't like or things that are not serving you in your highest capacity keep happening in your life. Then you have to be willing to ask the right questions. What could life be for me if I had a different thought, or if I had a new way to look at something? What can I do or think that is different? And then you have to be open to the answer. And once you hear the answer, the next stage, once you've examined these old beliefs, is to allow a different inspiration, allow a different interpretation of what it is that you're thinking of. Michelle said, think about something and then go into this thought about it, and then take some deep breaths and then release it. Start to do that. But then the next stage is actually implementation, isn't it? It's implementing the new belief. And this is where things can sometimes get exciting and can also be scary, because that's when we start to create new boundaries. We have different comfort zones. We are expanding outside of those comfort zones. And, while it's exciting, it can also be a little bit scary. And when it's in the exciting phase, we share it with other people, with friends. We start telling people about these new thoughts, these new ideas, these new perspectives. It feels really good. We're positive. We're happy. We're upbeat. I had a story that I'm not very handy or whatever, and I had to put a railing on my deck. And so it came in a box, and I thought it would come somehow assembled, and it wasn't. I had to assemble this thing, and then I had to actually put this thing up. And then and it had these dowels, and I had to put the dowels in, and I had to drill the holes, and everything. And I did it on my own. And when it was done, I took the staircase and I tried to shake it. and it didn't shake. And I went, I did this. Like, I did this. Well, there's an old story that no longer suits me because I am handy. I am capable of doing it, right? And that's that exciting phase where you want to tell people about, guess what I did, and something I didn't believe I could do, right? And then, after a little while, after that happens, something comes along and it challenges that belief. Like, you have to put siding up or something, or you have to do another job, and maybe it's outside of your comfort zone and you can't quite do it. And so we start to question the new belief. Well, maybe I wasn't as good as I thought I was. Maybe it wasn't as great as I thought it was. And you start to look at it with old eyes again. The old stories come back. They start to resurface a little bit, right? I'm not that handy because I could do this. I could do that yesterday, but I can't do this today, or whatever it happens to be. And pretty soon we start to settle back into that old routine again. And we settle back into it because we know it. It's comfortable and it's tried and true. And we've told the story 1,000 times. I had a conversation with a colleague of mine about buying a car. And she said, well, my father said, never buy a new car because it loses its value as soon as you drive off the parking lot. True story. My father always said, don't buy a used car because if you buy a used car, you're buying someone else's problem. So also true. See, the thing is that we both had the same idea. We both had a different concept about buying the car. And both of us are correct. Both of us make that assessment based on beliefs. And as we say in our philosophy, once you believe it, and so it is. And so that's how things are created. But this exciting phase that we talk about sometimes takes even longer when we have something that we start to know. And then that's when life starts to change for us and things start to work out for the better for us. We get used to seeing the world in this way, and it's a new way of thinking, and it feels good, so we keep doing it. And it keeps showing up. And it keeps rising us up to that level that we are, and it becomes a new anchor. And sometimes that change lasts a very long time, and that is great. And that is what new thought is. When you think of something and you found a new way to look at something, and you can no longer go back and look at it the old way, because something has changed. We've changed. Some thought pattern has changed forever for us. And then the universe sometimes, as I say, it comes up to support you in that new belief. Thoughts become anchor and actions become this whole new way. Mind, body, soul is what we say. Mind is the thought. Soul is the substance that just makes it happen. It's the universe that just says yes. And the body is the result. The body is the physical form of what it is that we thought. So what happens when we have a new way of seeing the world, and our world is different, and we're living in this fantastic world, and we're going along, and everything is good, and all of a sudden, an event happens or something happens, and it pulls the rug from underneath you. And this is what we chatted with Michelle a little bit about. I mean, has that ever happened to you? Like, you're going along, and everything is great, and all of a sudden, something happens, and you find yourself dealing with a situation that you think, bam, there it is again, and it's come back, and I thought I dealt with this, and there it is again. When I think of that, I think about grief. Grief is a great example of things that can come back. I've dealt with a lot of grief over my life. I've talked about it. I've written about it. My thesis is on grief, the gift of grief. But you deal with it. You've managed it. You find perspectives, like I say, some light, and you even smile. You learn to go on with life, and all of a sudden, something can trigger you. And you feel like you're back at the beginning. You're back at ground zero again. An example is the other day I was actually walking through a store and I saw some medical supplies, and I just went, bam. And it just reminded me of my brother, and I went, here it is again. And it felt as though this pain was exactly what it was the moment that he passed. And I felt like it felt like ground zero for a second. Grief can do that to you. But here's the thing. Oh, and when I think about grief, I also think of other examples too. I mean, think about your finances. All of a sudden you feel like you're going along, and all of a sudden something comes along and it's expensive. Think about your health. You get a call from the doctor. What happens to your mind? You start to think, oh no, right? What about relationships? You have an argument with a spouse, And it takes you back to an old argument, right? Creative expression, your work. What if you're working and all of a sudden something that happened before comes up again and you feel like you're back to ground zero? All of these pillars can change our thoughts, and we can gain new perspective. And one thing happens and all of a sudden it's like, boom, I thought I dealt with that, but here I am again. And it's come up again. But this stage, this would be the stage where you actually say, I must remember one important thing. When it comes up again, it feels like you're back at ground zero, but you are not. We are not back at ground zero when these things happen. We are literally not, because we're not starting over from nothing. We're starting from the place where we are now. We're just being reminded that those old roots are still in there, those layers of the onion. Those roots are deeply in there, and it's going to take a while for them to come out and be done with. And when they come up again, we have no choice. We have a choice, rather, not to go back to the beginning. We must realize that we are at a different place now than we were when we first experienced it. The first time that we experienced, we learned how maybe to communicate with our partners or our friends, and life is good. And then one thing goes wrong, and we go, oh my God, here we go again. Some things never change. Have you ever heard yourself say that? Some things never change? Not true. You've changed. Some things never change. That's just a belief. We can also say, well, here I am again, but this time I understand it differently. I have a different perspective. I'm going to go to the level where I am now. I am not back where I was then. This is a new place for me. I know more than I did the first time that I was here. I'm not going all the way back to ground zero. I will learn what I need to know now. I will move forward from now. When you reach this point, when you reach that stage of being able to look at everything and say, I'm not going back to ground zero, I've been here before, I'm building upon what I already know. When you can let it go from that perspective, that is when you start to realize that you are actually living your life the New Thought way. It can work out for so many other things too in your life. You can start to let things go that don't serve you. You can start to look at them and say, this is something that I once believed. I'm not there anymore. And at that stage, that's when you truly begin to have freedom. That's what freedom is. Free to choose. Free, as our thing says, I am free to be anything I choose. I am free to be anything I choose. You got to let go of that stuff. And when we let go, it doesn't mean it's ever going to happen again. It just means I know there is a way out for me. I know there's a way to see things that are different, and I get to make the choice to live from where I am now. I love this meme that says, I read it recently. It says, if you're looking for me, if you're looking for me where I was, I no longer live there. I love that expression because that's true with everything. So this is release at its best. This week, what I want you to do is I want you to look a little deeper into those parts of your life that you want to change. Allow them to surface. Dig them relic bones, those old beliefs. Review them. Look at them from where you are now. Where you are now in your life, like not where you were before. Look at them from where you are now. And then ask yourself, are they still true? Are they still true for you? Ask yourself that question. And then be willing to see them from that new lens, that lens of now. Even if it's uncomfortable, as Michelle said, sometimes it can be uncomfortable, push through it. Implement your new thought. Implement your new way of seeing things. Get new ideas about them. If you want true freedom to choose, you have to be conscious of what they are. And then, as Buddha said, release your attachment to it and all of it, and create a new story. Create your best life. See your highest good only, and then live there. Live your best life from this place, from this new place. Remember, true freedom is an inside job. Know that you have that inside job. That's your job to do. Do the work, excavate, as we say, and then release. Make room for something that is new. Make room for something that is greater for yourself, because you are worth it. And never forget that. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. And I've done some excavating this week, and I've come up with so many new things. And it's funny how when you let something go, something else replaces it. I just have this constant image of that happening. So if that works for you, keep doing it. At this point, I just want to say to all of the people who donate to the center, thank you so much. Your tithing, your money, your energy of love that you provide allows us to continue to broadcast. I know that we've received some great donations, and I'm just always grateful. And whether it's $1 or $1 million, it's all the same in the eyes of the universe. It's the energy of the life of the love that you put into it, and it's all part of the law of circulation. As you give, you receive. That's just how it works. You can do so by going to our website at info at Global Truth Center Toronto. You can go to the .com. You can go to the globaltruthcentertoronto.com, and you can also donate there. And if you have any issues, just let us know. We'll make sure that energy of love that you're providing is there for us. Dr. Liza continues with the classes. I know there's a few more left. Feel free to drop in and enjoy. I'm sure that you'll get a lot out of it. She's a great teacher. And also, while you're at the website, why not sign up and become a member if you're not already? And at this point, I just want to say thank you. And I want to say thank you for last week to Dr. Lori, who came in and who actually did a tremendous service. I loved her words. If you had a chance to watch it, and to our amazing practitioner, Hester, who did an amazing meditation last week as well. And tonight we have the amazing Carrie on tech, who keeps us all on track and make sure we're bouncing around as we need to. Couldn't do it without you, so thank you. Pierre, our musician, I can't sing your praises any more than I already have. We should do a duet one time, but I'll be encroaching on your territory, but who knows, right?
That's what rehearsal's for.
There you go. So thank you, Pierre, for your music tonight. And Michelle, such a pleasure, as I said, to spend time with you. And I will be going back and listening to your meditation again, because I need to get into that meditation. I'm going to watch this whole service again. So there you go. And thank you to you, the community, for bringing your consciousness here with us. As I said, it's your 1 hour gift. Thank you for connecting with us. Go into the world and take that energy into the world. And Pierre, with this fabulous song, why don't you sing us out?
Okay. Think of your fellow man, lend him a helping hand, put a little love in your heart. You see it's getting late, oh please don't hesitate, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see. Another day goes by and still the children cry. Put a little love in your heart. You want the world to know we won't let hatred grow. Put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait. Down, put a little love in your heart. I hope when you decide kindness will be your guide, put a little love in your heart, and the world will be a better place, and the world will be a better place for you and me. You just wait and see.
Awesome, Pierre. Thank you so much. And take his advice. Put a little love in your heart, and if it feels good, put more and more and more. Let kindness be your guide this week, everybody. Dig deep, release. Lots of love. Have a great